Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Non-transforming toy.
Hello, welcome to TFYLP, episode 431. We are live tonight. It is Monday, May 17th. I'm Lucas, and I have a full crew here tonight talking about boxes. So I've got Rick. Oh, apparently, what's going on, Rick?
I'm not using my phone today. I got a new computer.
Look at you! Woo! It's amazing.
Wait, hang on.
I was wondering why you were in
Hello?
HD.
No, I'm not doing anything. Yeah, what's up?
Well, so I'm wondering, Rick. So Rick says he got a new computer,
He's a
yet
dickhead.
somehow he's still not wearing headphones for the show.
Yeah, no.
You can plug headphones into the computer, just FYI.
See,
Yeah, all
this is
his
one of those
toy
new smart
boxes-
computers that doesn't have any jacks in it.
Oh,
All his toy boxes act as sound dampeners.
Everything is wireless, and I
Oh,
don't have the
okay.
headphones yet.
gotcha. And then we've got Phil and Duran.
Hello. Today's episode is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Support Wrestle Talk.
Oh yeah, were we supposed to say like, comment, and subscribe? Click the bell for,
Yes.
you know,
Definitely.
whatever.
Click the notifications so that you know whenever we upload new content.
Or go live.
There you go. And
Seriously,
we've got
do that.
Rob. Rob's had a fantastic, week, and he's so excited to talk about boxes. So appreciate you joining us, Rob. And then we've got Peter, who is surrounded by boxes, right? Kind of, since you moved.
For Pedestron. I've got some boxes. Yeah, I've got. Yeah.
I'm starting the bins. Because I'm about to move. Oops. Everything's falling now.
There you go. Yeah, so Duran, are you collecting boxes, I guess, for the move?
I suppose you could say I'm collecting boxes for the move, even though it's getting down to crunch time, and I have nowhere to go yet, and I have to be out of here in 2 weeks. And
That's what the boxes are for. You go in, you build a fortress.
yeah. Everywhere I go is like there's like a waiting list and stuff, and I've been looking for like 2 or 3 months now, and I'm beginning to really sweat. But yeah. I may wind up
you and
having
Orson will be very happy together.
No, I'm probably gonna if I have to, I'll shove everything in a storage unit and go stay at a Holiday Inn Express, so I'll be smarter the next day. I mean, and Orson doesn't have room at his house either, so
With all the boxes, more than likely.
with all the boxes.
So, well,
I mean,
this is...
well, unless one of you guys have a Unicron box, I could stay in. I mean,
I've got 2 right here, and a Snake Mountain, and some Brave stuff, and a Castle Grayskull.
Here you go. As I say, I think Paul, didn't he have several of them, right? He made a diorama out of it.
He connected all the box images to make the one super image.
not many people can do that.
No.
Yep. Some of us, but I think he it bought some of those to resell, right?
Hope. What would you do with like 6 Unicrons? I mean,
Create a
make them
solar
kiss.
system?
all your planet are belong to us. I mean,
So this is
don't kink shame.
This is continuing the topic that we've been doing about, I don't know, various, what do we do with our collections and all that type of thing. So this kind of sprung from that, I guess. Like, right, Rob? I think that was kind of the idea.
There are 2 box mountains, and that is, to be clear, there are 2 topics here. One box mountain is your collection of boxes. Like whatever boxes you keep from your toys, right? And that's a box mountain. And most collectors that I know have one somewhere, because a lot of people don't integrate boxes into their displays, or, like I integrate a few of my boxes into displays, but I have a bunch more in the garage, right?
Wait, this episode is about actual boxes? I thought we were going to talk about boxes.
Beast boxes.
Yeah.
I can't get the crew on board. Only ever got to talk about it on when I was hosting Ask My Wallet, and that was it. And they kicked me off for it, And then the other box mountain is shipping boxes, because if a lot of collectors also, you get rid of some stuff at times. You find upgrades, or you're trimming down, or you're shifting focus, whatever it is. And who wants to go out and buy a bunch of boxes to mail stuff out? Nobody. So what do? You keep storing all those Amazon boxes, right? And or anything you buy, get from eBay, you put it in there. You take that bubble wrap, because
you take your item out and then go to throw the box away, and you go, wow, that's a really nice box. I can reuse that.
I can ship something in this box for first class. I can keep it under 1 pound, so I can ship it first class. That's what you're looking for. And so that's another box mountain. I am not picky on which one we talk about first.
I would say I've got 2 more box mountains I would add to that list.
Oh boy, tell me.
I've got the boxes of stuff the things I'm trying to sell, and the boxes of stuff I've purchased that I've yet to open.
Oh,
yep.
that's
that
last
four topics.
I got 4 kinds of boxes.
Well, does that also include, Phil, Tub Mountain?
So my Tub Mountain encapsulates my save boxes. So Rob's first box mountain is now in bin/Tub Mountain.
Yeah, because I'm still working through a backlog of crap I haven't opened for the last 20 years.
Yeah. I should start my own podcast about opening toys, but I don't know.
No.
I have a feeling that's been done.
No one's going to watch that.
No.
Trust me. I know. No one's going to watch that.
You might want to, if you do want to discuss that topic, you may want to bring in Christian as well, because I believe he's talked about having a big pile of crap he hasn't opened that's been some of it's months and months old, right?
Yeah. I'm going to call it peel off the adhesive.
I'm going to sever the binding rope.
I can honestly say I've never been in that position. Every time I get a new toy, I kind of want to open it right away. I think the longest I've ever waited is for a new purchase that I intended to open is maybe about 4 or 5 days, because I got busy and work and everything. But I think the longest I ever went was 13 years, and I regretted it, because whenever KB was going out of business, the KB in Richmond, Kentucky, they had found some Transquitos in the back and had put them out, and they was like $3. And I bought one, and I'm like, he looks kind of cool, so I kept him sealed up until about 6 years ago. And I was sitting one day, I was bored, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to open that. And I wished I hadn't.
He looks cooler than he is.
Yeah.
He's like the hollowest Transformer ever. Poor Transquito.
Yeah,
So
I
we're probably going to get a Generation Select.
I almost feel like if you haven't opened something, and not necessarily something that you intend to keep in box, but if you're intending to open it and you don't, is that a sign that you should maybe just sell it, or, whatever?
No, fuck that.
It depends.
Don't sell anything, Greg?
I think it depends on who you are. Some people, they're just as happy to keep it in box. They just want to know they have it and check the list, right?
Right.
Those people are sick for different reasons, but that's fine. But yeah, if you're somebody like me, or or Christian, or whatever, that does open all their stuff, if it's been sitting there a while, like that means something, right?
Well, like this here, right? Like, should I get rid of this? It's like, I don't know why I still have this.
Unless you just really like it as a display piece, but that's not the case. You're just like, eh. I had one like that recently.
A lot of people have gotten out of this when, the family starts, they get married, they have kids, they get out of it. I didn't get out of it. I just slowed down opening stuff. And
I'm in that exact same box as Rick.
There you go. Kids show up, and then you're like, well, I got to put the kid to bed rather than open this, or I got to make him some chicky nuggies instead of opening this thing. And it adds up, man. It adds up.
Especially like Masterpiece or the third-party stuff that is going to be, I got to sit here for an hour to focus on transforming this thing.
Yep.
Those are the ones that, for Transformers wise, that's what's been building up in terms of stuff I've yet to open. That and NECA toys, which take like 30 minutes just to get all the ties cut and everything. And
I fucking hate it. So fucking annoying.
Yeah, and Gundam kits, which look really cool, and then you forget that it takes you 3 months to put it together.
Yeah, and Legos are even worse because it's like, it's going to take me an hour to build this. And I don't have an hour. I've
got 3 sets of Legos right now that I'm waiting for another shutdown or something.
I got for those of you on my private Facebook page, we did a Lego set every day during the quarantine. And I still got a few hundred sets that I haven't built. I've got Lego sets that I haven't built that they've started putting out new versions of that Lego set.
You still haven't opened that Generations Prowl. There's been like 4 new ones.
Right. Yeah. I still got animated I got to open.
Oh, man, you're missing out there.
Yeah.
I do love me some animated. I think I got like 9 Troopers I got to open too for animated.
You know who doesn't love animated? Hasbro.
You know who doesn't love Hasbro? And that's
third
why.
party.
Third party doesn't love animated either.
No, they don't.
They tried.
They try hard enough, though.
I wish they would keep trying. Just throw that spaghetti at the wall. Let's do it. I want a Devastator.
We need Constructicons.
Or that animated Omega that everybody seemed to want so badly.
Be sweet. So on that topic, I did want to note, like, I have my boxes of unopened stuff like right here next to me. And for the most part, stuff goes through. Most stuff actually gets open to my left. And then I open it and I disperse of it and it stays in my way, and that really makes sure I deal with it quick. I did have some toys that sat there for over a year. They sat there for like about 15 months. It was something I had bought from Fans Hobby. They were on discount. I was buying some other stuff from Fans Hobby during a Black Friday sale. And I was like, I can get these and get free shipping, which, like, it was so expensive to ship from there. It was like kind of covered. I was kind of half interested in them. I let them sit forever. And finally, I was just like, I need to open. It was the Monster Bots from Fans Hobby.
Fly Pro and Mega Tooth and Dude.
Yeah, Dude. And I was like, I either need to open these or put them on eBay. Like, what am I doing here? And it's one of those, have you heard about like the broken window? You get used to something being a broken window and you no longer realize the window's broken anymore. And it's kind of like one of those, you get used to seeing it every day, and so you don't realize it's even there, right?
It becomes part of the landscape.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta ask this.
But I finally did open them, and I actually really enjoyed them. Because it was like, I'm either going to get rid of them or I was like, fuck it, I'm going to open them. And I was like, oh, these are great. And I really liked them. And nobody else is going to do big chunky Monster Bots. So it worked out.
From the Dreamwave style Monster Bots.
Yeah, from the perspective of somebody that doesn't, have a backlog of unopened toys, is it because you just don't have time, or is it because you buy multiples of stuff and you like open one at a time, and it just dominoes? Like, okay, I've opened this one, and then I get another order in. It's got multiple figures in it, and it just piles up. Is that why, or is it you just not in a hurry to open it?
I buy scores of figures every month, and each one needs a little bit of time for me to love it and get to be involved with it. And like Rick was saying, you've got the kids, and Phil echoed, you've got other things going on, and you can't devote that time to that figure or that set of figures or that pile of figures, and it just kind of gets behind you. You gotta make the time for it. That's why I'm like my situation is I bring all my stuff to work when I'm working in my my normal job, and there's a big pile in the server room of toys, and I go through them one at a time and open it and play, because while I'm working I can turn on some music and do my work and then fiddle with the robot and then get back to it, and I don't have to take time away from the kids and my employer
instead of working.
Yeah, I work in a server room. They don't know where I'm at anyway, so yay.
If you're in IT, what you do is magic anyways, and they can't argue with you that it's not magic.
As long as everything's working, I'm doing my job.
That's right. If you do a good job, you work less.
You don't worry about like a higher up coming in there and saying, "What the hell's all these toys?"
No higher up's going
They
to go
don't
in a
know
server
where the
room
server
to
room's
save
at.
their lives.
The higher ups do come into the server room, and they know that I'm the weird guy with the Transformers in the server room.
And they're like, what is that smell?
Yeah, I do have a bucket in the corner for waste, because I don't have to leave the server room then. It's just like being deployed.
So there. What
They
you're
just see
saying
that
is
as
there
their
was that very first time when they came in there and go, "What is this?"
When I started this job, I don't hide my whatever, so my robots or whatever. So I told them I'm the crazy robot guy, and I'm going to start bringing Transformers in. They're like, okay, and then you bring in, don't bring in one, you bring in 30.
Yeah.
And you put them everywhere, and then there's no hiding it. There's no obfuscation. This is what I do.
Yeah, I can't do that where I
a
work.
person.
Me either.
Bring them into the frame shop.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
Well, I
just
work
bought
in
a new
school,
shop.
so
Yeah.
They would get
For now,
stolen
for
in
now.
a school.
my frame shop's gonna have enough stuff in it. Trust me.
Richa CM, I'm not sure exactly how he wants that pronounced, but in chat, he mentions that he likes to spread his stuff, the opening celebration, out a bit. And I do that a lot as well. Like I try not to, I got my big bad pile of loot in and I got 6 things. I'm going to open them all tonight. I try not to do that, but sometimes, things seem to come in waves. Like, and I don't mean toy waves, but it's like, especially if you get a pile of loot, that's obviously a big thing. But then it's like, some China finally actually shipped some stuff, right? And it's like, I got all these. And sometimes it ends up backing up a bit because of that. And then it gets like stuck on the broken window pile, and I forget they're there if it's stuff that I'm kind of a little bit more obligation purchased, rather than like super excited about. Sometimes that does happen, but yeah, spreading them out is nice. Gives you little bits of joys when you have really shitty days at work, and he gives you something new to open.
Like today.
Yeah, I got this little dude. I just now opened him. I literally got a pile of loot today, and I didn't even get to cut the tape on the pile of loot box until 5 minutes before the show.
That's the name of the show I sometimes do.
Sporadically.
This is what's just directly next to my computer.
I feel like the thing for me is that if I don't have a spot for the figure that I'm going to open, then that's where it sits. Because it's like, before I open this figure, I need to rearrange my stuff. And then it's almost like too much to have to rearrange everything in order to fit it in. So, like, if it's something where it's like, I know where this spot is going to go on the shelf once I'm done with it, then it's like, fine. But if I'm not sure where it's going to go, like, I have a few things that have been sitting since the last TFCon. So, yeah.
Ooh. Well, my answer to that is everything I open goes right next to me.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff over there, and it's eventually once I get done playing with it for a bit, right? Then I put it on the shelf. And that Zeta Blitzwing is freaking huge. There's no way that's in scale. They're supposed to be in scale, but I don't know. That thing is monstrous. But anyways, yeah, they all live over here until it's time to put them away.
If there's something that you get and you hate it, and you immediately after you open it, does it go straight to the shelf, or?
I can't speak about everybody else, obviously, but like I know my own taste pretty good that I never get something in and just hate it. There's usually something I like about it. If nothing else, it's like, it fills out that part of the collection, right? Just because I'm picky enough. The closest
But
I've
have
had
you
to
gotten
that though was
something
that
where it's a complete piece of crap that you don't realize? Like, say you order something
like the quality's really bad.
Right.
Omnigonic spin out.
right.
I wait to reviews for a lot of stuff that I can, at least. That the only one I think I've gotten that personally I've had a quick turnaround on was the Sleep Mode Prime. I got that and I was like, okay, I've played with the toy. It's like, and once I shipped the box off to Nick, it was in there. Like I should have returned it to Amazon is what I should have done. But
One of those unpadded boxes, huh?
yes,
Right.
one of the worst things I've ever done. It was great.
He's asleep. Okay. He's asleep. He's still sleeping.
What about you guys? Do y'all get any that you finally open and it's just straight to sell bin, or?
I've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say straight to the sale bin, but straight to the Rescue Bots display case. Open, shelf. Don't transform. Don't mess around with it. Check out its taint. Nothing. Just open, shelf. Thank you.
My problem now is like I've got these sale bins, like, you know, Phil was talking about, that have kind of created a mountain, because it's like I just don't have the energy to put them on eBay, and I should like either do something with them or send them to Nick, or, you know, talk to somebody else, like whatever. And for whatever reason, they just sit there. So,
Well, I mean, for the record, eBay sucks, and that should be a future show topic, or a repeat future show topic, because eBay keeps changing stuff, and it just gets crappier and crappier. Screw
I'm
eBay.
surprised anybody even still uses eBay to sell crap.
People use eBay to set prices, and then it trickles into the Facebook. I'm giving you a great deal, bro, because on eBay it's $1,600, but I'm only charging you $1,200. It doesn't matter. It was $30 last year. Sweet deal.
The reason why people list on eBay is because that's where it sells. Facebook groups are a nightmare. Yeah, everything I listed, like I started listing them again myself like a couple months ago, and man, at first I thought it was really going slow, but everything but 7 items is sold.
My daughter sold all of
50,
her...
60.
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, that was it.
Just before we moved, the kids both put up a bunch of stuff. The boy, he put up a lot of Transformers that he had doubles of the character, but he's selling, right? He's at a lot. He's in a weak position anyway, because he's selling the same thing that everyone else is selling, because everyone replaced the same characters with the same new stuff, so everyone's selling the same exact old characters.
But they still sell.
They still sell. His didn't though. Not as well as he had hoped. He sold a couple things, but she sold all of her Monster High, all of her American Girl dolls, all of her knockoff American Girl dolls, the Target version, and the whatever other
Canadian broads.
Yeah, Canadian broads. That's the
American Nina.
And and all those
Nina
all that
Americana.
She sold everything on Facebook. On Facebook is the point. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The Facebook stuff, her stuff went quick. That Monster High stuff was gone, and she's 10. She made $400 on her Monster High stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mean you made $400 on
No.
Monster High stuff?
She made
$30. That's her cut.
That's her money, not my money.
Finder's fee.
Oh,
She bought a
well,
bunch of-
I've always found, well, at least in the last couple of years,
she paying rent?
that, you know, if I put something on eBay versus whenever I put it on Facebook, it sells on Facebook for me way faster than usually on eBay. I would get people. Yeah, I would. Well, I mean, I'm talking like my Road Caesar. I had it listed on eBay for 3 months. You know, I kept having it renewed and everything, and I would keep getting like ridiculously low offers. You know, like somebody literally offered me $100 for a complete Road Caesar.
Lol.
Yeah, and I'm, you know, I basically emailed them back a middle finger, you know, but, you know, eventually I'm like, screw it, and I just went on and posted it on Facebook, and it was gone in 2 weeks.
See, like vintage
depends
stuff
what it
like
is.
that. Yeah, vintage stuff like that. I think Facebook is good for, because you know you have a dedicated audience for that item who might not be searching for it on eBay. but they see it come across their Facebook feed, and all right, they scrounge together some cash to pay for it. And vintage stuff is pretty, I'd say, similarly priced between eBay and Facebook. You're gonna see things priced at roughly the same thing. But if you're selling something that's maybe slightly newer within like the last couple of years, Facebook is going to be much lower price than what eBay price is going to get. So, I mean, if you have the time and patience for eBay, you'll probably get a better price and make more profit than Facebook. But again, you end up with a pile of stuff that either you haven't had the time to sit there and list because that takes time, or just hasn't sold yet.
So do you, since we're talking about boxes, like my self-stuff actually isn't in boxes, but it is in a tote, and sometimes it becomes 2 totes, and then it's like, man, I really got to sell some of this stuff. So, I offload some stuff to try to keep it down to 1 tote to carry around, for either shows or to, list on eBay or, I've sold one thing on Facebook, and then this was fans toys. Like third-party MP still sells pretty good in Facebook. Fans toys always sells good on Facebook. You can even probably go on the higher side of the price and still get it on Facebook. But older third party and mainline stuff.
It depends on what it is again.
Yeah, but
so
vintage.
let me ask you guys this: when do you decide to keep a box? For those people that are keeping a box, why are you keeping the box? How do you decide you're going to keep that box?
Very easy for me. I mean, it's generally if it's a foreign box, for a foreign figure that you just can't go to like Walmart and buy, I'll keep it.
But why? If it's like a mainline, like if it was like Takara Legends box, it's mainline in Japan. It's not special in Japan. You would still keep it.
Yeah. Mainly for like resale value. Because I think eventually I will sell everything, but at the time though, I just don't see the value in keeping domestic boxes. I mean, unless I just get something with the intention of I want to experience this toy, but I really don't intend on keeping it very long, then I might hold on to the box. But generally, or if it's a large, like the Titan boxes, I keep them solely because the artwork is gorgeous on those things, in my opinion.
But do you have the boxes out then?
No, not currently, because I have nowhere to put them, nowhere to display them. But
you're about to move into one of those Titan boxes, Rick.
Yeah.
They actually have flaps on them that are supposed to connect together.
So you got a duplex then.
Right. For collectors like Duran, the flaps actually connect together.
But if it's and also if it's an exclusive, I generally keep the boxes. But like mainline retail stuff, and I generally don't keep it.
Nobody on eBay wants mainline retail boxes because if you do that, you're going to have a harder time shipping it for first class. And you want to be able to ship it for $350, So.
Although that being said, I do have like a time limit. I will still hold on to the box of a figure. It's like not like I just open up. I go to Walmart, I buy a toy, I bring it home, and I sit down and I open it, and the box immediately goes in the bin. I generally hold on to it for at least a week or two until I've had a chance to actually sit down, mess with the toy, convert it a few times, pose it a lot, and see if it's, not defective, that I really do like it, stuff like that. If it's not defective, it's not broken or doesn't break the first time I transform it, or if I absolutely hate it, I can still put it back in the box and take it back and get a refund. Or exchange it. But once it gets past that time, and I'm like, yeah, this toy's fine, I like it, in the garbage can it goes.
I'd say a lot of what Duran said there is kind of the rules I follow. Except, I don't know. I don't buy anything from Takara, like mainline Takara versions, anyways.
Well, that's kind of killed off in the last couple
Yeah.
of years since everything's the same now.
Like I have a few of them, but I think even then I finally got to where I didn't bother. If it's mainline anything, I toss it. I even tossed Masterpiece boxes for a while because they're not good. They're just product pictures, right? Like boring. Who cares? But that was when I thought like, oh, there'll never be a better version of X, right? And then you've kind of realized, oh wait, yeah, even on the Masterpiece line, like yes, there will be. Yeah, if it goes on long enough, engineering and standards are going to change enough. There's going to be something you like better, probably. So I've started keeping those just because they're high value enough that it does help move them later. Like I don't think you really get anything for it. It just somebody's searching. There's one with a box and one without.
I do think that, I always have kept my Masterpiece and third-party boxes, and I do think it does add to the value, for those, especially just because, like, the mainline boxes, it's hard to get them back. And it depends on the figure, but a lot of times it's hard to get the figure back in the box to where it is how it should be, if it's like tied with like ties and all that type of thing. It's just hard to get it back in that thing. Whereas like the Masterpiece, it's almost kind of meant to cut the tape, take it out, transform it, whatever, and then, like put it back in at some point. So I always kept that. The other thing is I always liked keeping third-party Masterpiece boxes, keeping the accessories in there, just so that way I knew that they were with her. Because again, like, like not having an accessory for a high-end figure is like really depreciates the value
bad
on that. So
what I used to do is put all the paperwork and the parts in different bins, and I still have all those like little shelves, little drawers, and they're labeled and whatever. But it has been much easier just to leave them all in the box together. And if I want to sell it, I just grab the box and the toy off the shelf, and it's good to go, right? Don't have to
box with no padding, ship it off to Nick.
Or that.
But to that end, Lucas, so that's one of the reasons exactly why I would keep like the Takara boxes for like like Takara Legends and stuff, is for the most part, as opposed to like the Hasbro version, where you got like a metric crap ton of like the little plastic ties or the little paper ties and everything. Takara stuff for a long time would come in like a clamshell type deal, and it was easily or somewhat easily resealable. And if I was going to resell something, if I could put it back in its package and it still looked new, that adds to it. Whereas, like you said, sometimes you got to fumble around, especially with Hasbro stuff. You got to tear the card to get to it, and then take all these plastic ties off of it, which you don't have to, but it helps. That's just a pain in the butt, and it just kind of wastes for me.
Well, on the other end, there's collectors like myself, and I think Peter. I don't know if Peter does the same thing I do. You buy one to keep in the box, and then you buy one to open it. But when I open it, I immediately get rid of that box. I don't need that box in my life anymore.
I just out
because I
crazied
have
Rick.
one that's sealed.
I just out crazied Rick.
So you keep both boxes.
That's not a win. That's not a
keep
win.
both boxes. I keep both boxes.
But why?
But why not?
Space.
Because
Space,
the storage
yeah.
unit economy in Florida needs Peter's support.
Ladies,
No more storage
putting
units.
my kids through
Everything I own
college.
is in
Just
this
because
house.
you don't have an infinity closet like some people.
He's got a vault of old Transformers boxes that on the weekend he dives into the vault and swims around in his old Transformers boxes.
So when I moved to this house 5 years ago, I lit a fire in my fire pit, and I burned a shitload of Armada,
Please don't burn
Energon,
boxes.
Universe.
please
Can't you
recycle them.
recycle them?
All right,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
those-
recycled so many that the recycling bin got full, and that's when I started burning them.
You know, they come every week. You can have them take it out and then refill
You can take it
No,
to a
it was every
recycling
2
center,
weeks.
and they'll take everything you have forever. You can keep bringing it there.
Yeah.
You know what? I did put them online and said free. You just pay shipping, and nobody wanted them.
Nobody wants them. No.
Nobody wants them.
People
What about you,
would-
Phil?
People would pay $1 for instruction booklets, but not for a box.
What about me, Rob? What's the question?
Which boxes do you keep for new toys you get? At least new to you.
Same thing as Lucas, where it's my MPs and my third parties. I did used to keep my Takara boxes, like Duran said, and I just ran out of room. I will say a couple boxes that I really wish I didn't get rid of. Duran, coming back to one of your points, some of the exclusive boxes, like the San Diego Comic-Con Transformers G.I. Joe crossover sets. Those boxes were fantastic, but they were huge. And so it's just like I was moving and like, do I have room? Do I want to keep these? Like, they've been sitting in my basement collecting dust. Now I'm gonna get rid of them. But there are some boxes that feel like I don't want to have to part ways with this. But then it's like, all right, how am I gonna display this? The Pit of Judgment, this past year, another great example of an awesome box. And I know a lot of people that got two because the box is just so great that they wanted to keep it in that packaging.
I'm
See, I
having
think
this issue. Oh, sorry.
Well said.
Like, I think everybody keeps their exclusive boxes, but San Diego Comic-Con is a bit different. It's not like a BotCon box, right? Even like pre-Fun Pub era, like, you're going to keep those. You're going to keep your Windraiser box even though Windraiser sucks. But you're going to keep it, right? You're going to keep those boxes. They're special. And I think anything Beast Wars and older, I'm probably going to keep the box of anyways, or the packaging, even if it's just a flattened card or a flattened box or something. I'm probably going to store it somewhere, right? Like, nobody's going to throw away, especially like a G1 box, right? Who's going to do that?
Right. And you
I'm
can
sure there's
actually
somebody
sell
out there,
G1,
but-
like the vintage boxes, you can actually
Yeah.
sell, some of those older ones. I don't know. I feel like that with my Unicron box. Like, I got rid of everything, like the interior styrofoam, all that type of thing, right? But I couldn't quite get rid of that box. And I know I probably shouldn't have gotten rid of.
Like, if you're going to keep the box, keep the styrofoam. Like, what's the point? The box is
No,
just...
I flattened. I was in the process of doing it, and I'm like, and I flattened the box, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't get rid of this artwork, and so I have it. It's like by my recycling stuff in the garage, like behind it. So one day
So
I'll get rid of it.
It's ready. Yeah.
It's ready. I just can't quite.
Interesting enough, Lucas, you say how, like vintage boxes and everything. I remember when I was a kid and I was first getting into Transformers, I kept every box, insert, baggie, everything that came with my Transformers. And all the way up through mid to late 86, I'm wanting to say. And that was around the time that we actually sold our property. My mom and dad sold our property in Eastern Kentucky. We moved full-time to Florida. And we were going to a much smaller place down there. I was going from a room, with a decent size to basically this little cracker box room that my bedroom was going to be. And I wasn't going to have the room to actually display stuff like I had. And my mom said, all these toys in the boxes, you're just going to have to throw the boxes away. Nobody's going to care about those any down the road. It's the toys that are important. And stupid me, I'm like, sure. So what did I do? I went in and hacked out the cool box art, and I cut out the tech spec and all the robot points, and I got a photo album, with the peel back pages and stuff. And I've still got that photo album with all that box art, and all those robot points, and all those tech specs, and chucked out the rest of the boxes. And I wish to this day that she had never told me to throw those boxes away.
See, I don't fault your parents for doing that, and I would say that at that point in time in the 80s, we did not know that this was going to turn into the kind of collectible market that it is today. And the fact that you even kept the toys says a lot, because a lot of parents at that time were just been like, "Hey, we're doing a garage sale. Put this stuff in a bin, and
my mom,
Get a Nintendo.
my mom
Yeah.
was, she was of the mindset, and she was aware of that these toys were going to be valuable, because I was kid number 5 of 5, and she knew that from my brother, because my brother is about 17 years older than me, so she knew, because he played with like original GI Joes, the big 12-inch and everything, and even by the mid to late 80s, those Joes from like the 60s and early 70s were already starting to get, word was getting around, they were getting pretty valuable. And she knew that these toys, these Transformers, were something new, and the hype around them was well documented. How popular they were. They were making the nightly news sometimes on how popular they were, especially around Christmas time. Number one in kids' Christmas toys and stuff. She was always telling me these things are going to be worth something someday, so take care of them, and I did.
See, the key was, though, is you should have kept all of your old Nintendo boxes. That's where the real money is.
I did, and I made bank whenever I sold it. My original, this is 10 years ago, but I sold my like original NES with all my games, and this was like 10 years ago. I got like $450 out of all of it.
They have nowadays, like, if you get some stuff that's sealed in boxes for Nintendo games, it's crazy. But anyway,
I didn't have anything like really rare, but
I do have a question though for Peter. So you mentioned for the stuff that you open and that you're holding on to all of those boxes, right? What do you do with those boxes? Are you, like, say if it's a blister card, right? Like, do you cut the bubble off, or do you leave it? Like, how do you store all that stuff, Peter?
Hi, I'm Peter. I collect everything, and I keep everything, and I'm a hoarder. I have mental issues. I used to have, until very recently, I had 3 storage units that had warehouse racks in them. Warehouse racks were full of totes, and each of the totes were full of toys. The toys were sorted by series, whether opened or unopened, and they were just stored in there. Now, the fun part, we mentioned shipping boxes earlier at the beginning of the show, and when you said shipping boxes, I was not thinking save your Amazon boxes, because Amazon boxes, you're going to want to ship things. I was thinking shipping boxes. Like, the shipper boxes that Hasbro sends out. I have shipper boxes going back to Gen 2, and I make sure to get shipper boxes for everything that I buy as much as I can. And it's a lot harder now than with COVID, and they're opening cases at weird times, and they're closed at night, and blah, 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 blah. Because I like to, with my sealed figures and my open figures, put them back in the shipping cases, and then put the shipping cases in the totes, and put the totes in the warehouse racks, and put the warehouse racks wherever the hell they are. And, yes, there was a period where I was doing what Duran was talking about, where I was like, it wasn't even like all my boxes, but it was like, I'm going to cut the art out of this, and I'm going to cut the tech specs out, and that was a mistake. Don't do that. So I have hundreds of cutout tech specs and robot points and the UPCs. Why the hell not just cut out the UPCs? Screw it, and memorize the numbers. Anyway, so. Yes, keep stuff. Memorize it. Read the comics.
So, but my question is okay, so say you open up, you have loose figures, right? What are you doing? You said you kept all those boxes. What are you doing, like, if not necessarily like, I'm assuming that if it's a box, like what they're coming in now, like, these, I can't grab it yet, but like if it's a full box, you're just keeping it and not flat packing, is that right?
But what
correct. If it's a bubble, like if it's something on a bubble, like on a card?
Like a Legends class or Core class toy.
Then take the bubble with the card, you cut around the sides and the bottom, you pull the tray out, you pull the figure out, you put the tray back in, then you sandwich like they come in the shipping cases and put them back in the shipping cases empty. I have totes on totes on totes full of shipping cases full of empty blister cards.
Okay, cool. That's where I was trying to get to. So.
Yeah, I went and dug it out. This is my album. This is the last vestige of all the original Transformers I had, and basically, some of them still got full cards, but I don't know if you can see. You know, I displayed out, like Center Twin. Original Constructicon cards.
You'll absolutely know what you had as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I even have memories anymore. I just have memories of having the memory. It's like I remember when I used to remember having Devastator, or never having all of it, right? And I don't remember that. I just remember talking about it, right? So it must have happened.
I remember having a funeral for Trailbreaker when my cousin broke his leg.
I remember my cousin breaking
his leg broken. You had to shoot him.
We put him down. We put him in the garbage bag in the kitchen, and I said, "He's dead now."
My cousin grabbed a Metroplex, and I said, "You need to be careful with him," and then he snapped him at the waist. And then my grandmother found another Metroplex for 50 cents at a yard sale, and went up and said, "Will you take a quarter?" And they said, "Sure, go away." That's what they were thinking, the go away part. That was Nanny. And so I got another Metroplex for a quarter. I was very happy. So, has anybody's box collecting changed over time? Because I know mine has. Like, when I got started in Unicron Trilogy, that's when I kind of came back, was around 2003, 2004. I flattened all my boxes, and I tossed away, like, the plastics for, carded figures, and I kept the backs, and I kept all that stuff. But, eventually one day I quit doing that. God damn cats.
Okay.
I thought it was somebody playing with an airplane or something.
No, I have an older cat and a younger cat, and the younger cat just likes to get near the older cat and stare at it. And gets closer and closer, and the younger cat's like, "Leave me alone. You're like 8 times bigger." But
I thought that was Rob's modem.
You have mail. Eventually I quit doing that because I think probably around in Generations, like that first Generations lines, around then it was just like too much. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep a little of each line just to kind of remember what they look like, and got rid of a bunch. And that's pretty much where I am. And then I just got rid of all mainline stuff altogether. I'm like, I don't care. The internet has pictures of it if I want to see it. I'm moving on with my life. But I'm too lazy to like get rid of all the old stuff. Whatever. Although I've gotten rid of some. I've sold so many of them now that I was like, oh, I still have the card back for that. I'll sell it with it. Unless it makes it over first class, then I'll recycle it. But
when I was a teenager, my parents said, you have to stop playing with toys. You have to stop buying with toys to play with toys. I was like, but I still like toys. Like, well, if you're going to collect them, then you can still buy the stuff. So I was buying a ton of Spawn toys in the 90s and keeping them in package. And, it some point after college, I just brought 2 garbage bags full of them to a Toys for Tots thing to just donate because they were still in package. This was, like early 2000s. They weren't worth a dime. They're not worth a dime now. I don't regret it whatsoever. I don't know if the kids who got those toys were excited for them or just thought, Alien Spawn.
Oh, crap. More Spawn stuff.
Yeah. What is this Youngblood team by Rob Liefeld? What is this thing?
Oh, another medieval Spawn.
Yeah.
Can I trade the Spawn figure for your Jar Jar Binks?
So that was my phase though of keeping things in package. And then like once I got to college and like had a job and had my own money, like that's when I started like opening stuff. And yeah, pretty much right away I stopped keeping boxes because I just didn't have room.
Yeah.
How to play
All right, so
Tetris
here's-
on a
here's
wall.
It's
what's
just
gonna
today's
happen at
delivery
some point.
to Pete's house, Peter's house.
Yeah, I'm Peter. Don't confuse me with yeah.
Or Squarehead.
So
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
love
Yeah,
the
yeah, don't
Tetris
call him
thing that
Pete.
he has going on there.
This
What's
is
that?
from a 6-month trip. It was called Mount Peter. And yeah.
Giggity.
So yeah, this is from a 6-month trip that I went on. These are all my purchases. There was like Mask and GI Joe and robots and whatever. But yeah, so that's another type of box mountain. But yeah, Mount Peter. What other types do we have? The Sail Mountain. I've got that in the garage.
So-
There's Box Mountain that you don't want your wife to see because you had a bunch of stuff online and it all shipped on the same day.
If you have
and
that
it arrived
mountain,
at the house.
you need to fix your shit. You need to fix
Yeah.
your life. And
No,
you need to fix
there's
your relationship. Or it's already due.
Yeah, you need to get home from work before your wife does. Is what you need to do.
That's why I bought the store. My wife works at home now, so I'll just have my stuff shipped to the store.
This is the real thing. Is Rick's buying a front for his Transformers bike?
well that way he can
It's a
display all of his art
Transformers
in the
laundering
wall.
service.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Right. It's like,
Like 5
you know,
years
instead of the
ago,
mafia.
5 years ago, when we were in the process of selling our home and trying to move, like I was having stuff shipped to my office, and I had a mountain of boxes in my office, like tucked away in this little space between my desk and the window that I was able to fit. And like I had to go get one of our little carts to bring it all out to my car because I couldn't carry it by hand, or it would take like 3 or 4 trips to carry it by hand. So
I remember I was in college. I was a senior in college, and my boxes were piling up so much. Like I had my computer, and then the boxes were piling up so much my computer shut off. I'm like, what the hell's going on with my computer? And then I moved the boxes to get around the back, and it's all this heat coming out because I had
You
blocked
blocked
the
the fans.
fan with a mountain of boxes. Even though I had left space for the fan, I had encased the tower.
You made a
Boxes.
bigger case
Wow.
out
Yes.
of boxes.
So the boxes, I think, is what really annoys my wife, because more than the collecting, it's the boxes. So I have a couple
Where do
of
you
rooms
keep them at?
of what's that?
his wives or the boxes?
Where? No, where do you keep them at? Because
So-
I see where you're going with this, and I ran into the same problem.
So I have like they're both like in the basement. Like I have a finished basement and all that. So I have one room that have like all the boxes, and I have tubs of the boxes that I'm keeping from various things, right? Like that we've talked about. Then I have another room full of shipping boxes because I want to always have shipping materials on hand in case I sell things. And so I just have like this room is full of like foam and packing materials and all the stuff you would need for shipping, right? And it pisses my wife off because like we can't use this other bedroom because I have it just completely full of, BBTS boxes and Chosen Prime and all that type of thing that I've been holding on to because those are perfect. Like I get them in, I put them away, and then when I eventually sell them to Rob, then I can just, put it in the same box that it came to me in. But then my wife does not like me holding on to those boxes for, years at a time. But the thing that frustrates me is, and I don't know if you guys have ever had this, where you're like, you know what? This is going to be the week I'm going to break down all the boxes and whatever and get rid of them. You get rid of all that kind of stuff. Then you can't find a freaking box. Like you just sold something on eBay and you can't find the right size box for whatever that figure is that you sold. And you're like, I just got rid of it. So
I use my old, they were garage shelves, but I displayed my collection on them. Those have now become the holders for both of my box mountains. And so like I have like my smaller boxes here and like my medium-sized boxes are up here. And like they're not super nice looking or anything. Like I just toss them on there. I don't bother to break them down. And then I have like a couple of bigger boxes, over here so that I fill it up, the space, and then I can be like, okay, I have enough. Right? Like, and I have a variety and I have enough and I can see them and I can reach them. I mean, I have to dig around a little bit, pull down. It's like, okay, what's in here? Ah, there's one, but I keep a variety. And then like when I get new stuff in, I'm like, are my shelves full or not? If they're not full, well, then I can put some more in. If they are, then we just recycle it right away. I would recommend that.
Well, see, I ran into the problem, and this is whenever I really, really started cutting down on the amount of boxes I kept around. My last long-term girlfriend, I was getting ready to move out of my apartment and move into the house that she had. And, she was actually the one that was not at all against my collecting, So she was fine that I had that I was going to have a room for my collection, which was, her son's old room. So, I was basically taking it over for my toy room. But where the issue came was the closet. The closet, as some people may know, would be that closet that you open up with extreme hesitation from the avalanche that may come when you open said closet. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care how well I would Jenga the stuff in there. I literally had a couple closets that from floor to the ceiling, all the way to the back of the closet, was full of boxes, just empty Transformer boxes. And whenever I was getting ready to move and I was packing things up, she's like, you're not going to have room in that house for these boxes. And I'm like, well, you've got a storage. No. She had a little shed out back. I'm like, maybe I could have a little corner. No. So I had to go through, and that's where a lot of my masterpiece boxes left. And a lot of my third-party boxes, which down the road I kind of lamented because I wound up selling my Fans Toys Dinobots, and I didn't have the boxes for them anymore, except for Stomps. And,
I don't have most of the boxes for mine. Same thing where it's just, I went through a phase where if the box didn't have good art on it, I got rid of it. And the Fans Toys does have some art on it, but like, I wasn't wowed by it. I was like, I can live without it, right? And for a bit there, and I chucked them. Now I'm keeping them again,
But yeah, it was from that point on. I'm like, I don't really need to keep all these boxes in the closet. The fearful avalanche from the closet. Like there was always, as long as I've been an adult collector, there's always been the closet because there was a closet wherever I lived that was nothing but empty Transformer boxes. And going back to what you mentioned earlier, Rob, about how do you keep boxes and also to what Phil said, you as an adult collector you become a collector. And whenever I first started collecting as an adult, it was around the Fox Kids repaints of Beast Wars. And I would collect one to open, one to keep sealed. And then the one that I opened, I was like, Rick, I didn't need this other box because I've already got one sealed. So I chucked the box. And I did that all the way up through Universe 2.0. And I simply had not enough room to display it all. So, that was my first big sell-off, and a lot of it was duplicates. But I kind of wish I had a lot of that stuff now and if I had been able to maintain that. What I like to do now in photography, I could have a field day in something that I would love to do. Those old catalog photos, like
where they're all set up like on the mountain or on the rocks.
Yeah, on a mountain or on the rocks, and you got like the loose one out, and then there's one behind it that's sealed, and you got like the product. This is number 4 Hound, and this and over here is number 6 Mirage, and they're all arranged like that. I want to make photograph some dioramas like that, and kind of bring back the look of the original catalog photos. I would love to do that, but I don't have the toys to do that now.
So you need a transforming rental service, Transformers rental. So you can be like, okay, I want to rent all of Armada, thanks, and I'll ship it back in a
loose
bit.
and sealed, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are you guys talking to me or to Peter?
well, I mean, it could happen. I mean,
I think we're both about equidistant from Duran's house, so
Yeah.
we'll just meet in the middle.
I mean, I think one of the things that comes back to a lot of the discussions we have is like this toy line has just been going on for so long. It's like this was manageable until this point. I could display all this stuff until this point. And
the Bay
for
movies,
any collector, you just reach this point where it's like I like this, I enjoy it, I don't want to stop doing it, but it's just so much.
It's about 2009 for me.
Yeah,
I think it's like one of those things where you just have to like make that decision, for yourself or as a family, whatever it may be. Like, I mean, I don't know if you guys ever do that where you're like always angling, with a significant other where you're like, well, what if, because she's like, hey, you can have the room. And then it's like, no, I didn't say 3 rooms. I said one room. So then you're like, well, what if we put this other bookshelf over here? And what if we did so what if we got a storage unit? And then you're like, what if we got 3 storage units?
So for those of you that do still keep some boxes, so Lucas, you just shove yours in a bedroom and it's a nightmare. And you can't find anything.
That's the shipping boxes. My actual boxes, I have bins, or I have tubs. Like I keep all the boxes in tubs so that they stay nice and don't have to worry about,
crushing themselves,
whatever it may be. Yeah. So they're all assembled in the tubs.
So mine are on some garage shelves, which I've now filled up that space, and but what I have in there is like sorted. Ish, it's pretty sorted, right? Like Fans Toys is here, so a few G1 things might be here. Some other lines are over here. They're pretty well sorted, but it's full, and now some are just sitting in the middle, and then they're kind of stacking up. Like I'm gonna have to find a new line of stuff to figure out how to get rid of some stuff because I need some space, right? What about you, Phil? Like obviously Rick and Peter, it's like, oh, we keep everything. So
I think the answer is we need to discover some sort of Tesseract space that we can just put things in.
Pocket dimension.
Exactly.
Wherever Prime's trailer goes when he transfers.
So I've already discussed it with my wife what we're going to do when we
get a degree in physics so I can
maximum capacity. So I have the basement, which is 2,200 square feet, and then I have the garage, which fits several cars. We've never put a single car in our garage ever. I've made enough space where we can get the lawnmower and our other stuff in there, but I've still got 2 bays in there full of toys. So we've already discussed the hanging crate from the ceiling operation you've got in the garage. So we've got huge ceilings in the garage where it's on a pulley and then the grate comes down and you got all your crap on there, and so we're gonna get about 6 of those to put in the garage eventually.
I've got a crawl space that my bins full of boxes go into, and my wife found out about that like a couple months ago, and she almost had a panic attack that night because she just had like this nightmare of all that cardboard like catching fire, and just like, so you're basically saying you've got a ton of flammable stuff like right next to like our air conditioning unit, like
next to the furnace,
right next to it.
But your house is built of wood anyway, right? Like,
but that's kindling.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, it was. that's where I'm able to keep stuff, and that's a nice space in terms of having a crawl space is nice. You know, it's horrible to get in and out of and crawl around in there. I despise it. But in terms of having a space that's like I don't have to worry about it being used for any other purpose besides storage, like that's it. And so if I ever fill up that crawl space with bins, like that's when I just got to start, you know, either lighting a fire in my backyard like Rick did, or maybe recycling like Rob thinks is with all his virtue signaling there.
Hey, I do
Burn the
recycle.
house down and start
everything.
collecting something easier. Like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go after Wheeled Warriors because that's a finite line. There's only so many.
Micro machines, they're all tiny.
11 pieces. 11. No, 12, because there's an accessory pack for both Lightning League and Monster Mines. But yeah. Sorry.
So Peter, I like it. Ilmatic Prime in the chat says you're not a hoarder, you're a curator. So there you go. There's that moment where you cross over at whatever point is what he says.
But really though, what is the difference between a hoarder and what we do?
I have warehouse racks and totes and labeling and an inventory, and it's all.
I got a simpler definition.
I've got display cases.
For a hoarder, the collection owns you. For a collector, you own the collection.
I would put myself.
I would say that I disagree with that.
I would to Rick or Peter.
I disagree with that. I say when you get to our level, Peter, maybe you'll agree with me. The collection kind of owns us, and now it's self-fulfilling.
It does feed off of itself, and I'm just a conduit for it.
Yes.
For its desires.
Yes, I work to feed the collection, or the collection is displeased.
But like
that's literally what I said.
But great Cthulhu, I'm in rapture of doing this service for the collection. It's just I've been driven mad.
Eventually, one of us will die, and then the other will be left to carry on this mission.
So your life is just a little shop of horrors of just feed me.
Audrey 2, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got Audrey 2. I got Audrey Cyberverse and Audrey Machine Wars and
like
Transmetal Audrey. And
when it comes to packaging, Peter, like I know you buy a good bit of third-party stuff as well. You don't hold to the buy two for third-party, do you?
No, third-party is one area where I have no problem with like just open it and enjoy it, and I keep the boxes still, and they're all in their own totes. Those are in the garage. But yeah, third party, no.
It's a little different, but you still
keep different,
the box.
Yep.
And
I keep
right there
the
with
baggies
Peter.
with the staple tops from Nonif and Crazy Devi and all that shit.
That stuff is so long gone. I don't even.
I do that too.
I'd like to play a quick game before we get done. So I did get, as I said earlier, I got a big bad pile of loot in. We're going to play, is Rob going to keep it or chuck it? And we're going to go quick. This isn't going to take a long one. So here's Action Toys. They're Buggy Robo.
Chuck.
Chuck. It is just product images. It's not that expensive a figure. Chuck it.
I don't like this game.
Fans Project 6 Night box.
Chuck it. There's no artwork.
Burn it.
Chuck it. There's no artwork, and this toy ain't worth shit anyways. It was on massive clearance at Big Bad still. Like, this toy's how old, right? But nobody else is going to do it.
What is that, 6 Night?
Yeah, 6 Night. Like, nobody else is going to do a 6 Night, right?
It's a cool figure, though.
Yeah, it is a good figure. Like, I have the other version. DNA Upgrade Kit.
Chuck.
Super Chuck.
Why? I mean, it's
like
like there's nothing really on it.
Keep it.
I mean, I would keep it, but you should chuck it.
We're almost done. We got 3 left. Zeta's the not Blitzwing box.
There's nothing on it. It's a black box.
You know what? I would keep that for when you sell it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to keep it for at least a little while.
It's an expensive toy. If you sell it,
it's masterpiece level. It looks like pretty much like a nightmare of a figure, although it looks really cool. So I'm going to keep it for now, but that's why. It's because I don't know if I'll keep it forever. I'll enjoy it for a bit, right?
Let me know.
NECA's Ninja Turtle stuff.
Chuck.
Nah.
Super
Cute.
Chuck. There's a little cute artwork on the corners. Not worth the space.
Rip it up.
I don't have.
Rip that shit up
All
right up.
Last one. Fans Hobby Athena.
Keep.
Keep it.
Keep.
It's small.
Keep.
It's cool looking.
Keep. Y'all are good at the game. Y'all are pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's masterpiece level. And
Here, let's. I'll play that game too. Keep or Chuck?
Chuck.
The
Chuck.
whole thing.
Toy.
Chuck the whole
Everything you
thing.
pick up, I'm gonna tell you to Chuck.
Keep.
Wait,
Oh, Chucks.
that first figure, chuck it just completely, not even
Yeah.
in the box.
Oh, Super Chuck.
Oh,
Keep.
chuck that.
Keep.
There's only one answer.
Who's this
Wait.
Chuck guy? Is he a new cast member?
I
So,
just joined on the podcast and they keep talking about Chuck.
Chuck. Illmatic Prime has a great question in the chat. What is your favorite box?
Oh.
All of Japanese G1. Can I say that? No, Metal Hawk. G1 Metal Hawk. I'm gonna go get it.
Favorite box. I could say my favorite box art, but box, I don't know.
Is it eject? Tell me it's eject.
Say G1 Metal Hawk was because one.
That's pretty cherry, yeah.
It's got a bunch of cool artwork on it, and it has a flap thing on it going on. Figure's on the shelf. But yeah, that's just a cool box. Like mine's not in super great condition. It's fine, right? But that's a neat box. It's pretty. I mean, it's neat and it's unique, and it's G1, has cool art. I don't know. It's dope.
So mine is not a Transformer, but I still say this is my favorite toy box. And I did throw it out when I moved 5 years ago, and I regret it. It is the artwork for the Matty Collector DC Universe Collectors Doomsday. And so it was the first you got the white box with the red blood dripping Superman S. Then inside of it you had the Superman Pentagon S shape of the box, which had like great Dan.
S is the symbol of hope on my planet.
Yes. And then inside, then finally you had the clear plastic window with Doomsday in there, holding a tattered Superman cape. And that box is just amazing. And I was very, very sad when I eventually threw it away.
Peter,
I would
Rick,
Duran, are you talking? We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I had my mic muted.
I don't know if I have a favorite box.
This one's not my favorite box, but it's one of. It's not a Transformer, but it is related.
Happy Meal.
No.
the Brave.
Yes, Brave Dino Geist. I just love the box art. I love this character. The toy is amazing, and I've even got some courtesy Orson in a Christmas gift a couple years ago. Some actual Brave Ex-Kaiser animation cells of Dino Geist that are framed on my wall. So
Very cool.
And just in case anybody doesn't know Brave, it's literally where Transformers was going to go if it hadn't been canceled. You can see it at the end of the Transformers line, you know, when they became Japanese only. Brave is Takara toys still. Like that's
Takara,
that's where they were going to go. It was going to
Takara
I bet
toys
you those would have been
and Sunrise Animation.
I bet those would have been Transformer toys if the brand had continued, like
Probably.
or a lot of it.
We actually did
Some did become. Yeah,
we actually did a 2-part episode on Brave several years ago here on TFYLP. So if you have not checked those out, go back in the episode log of this channel.
Do you know what episode number it is?
Rick
By any
watched it.
chance?
It was back in the early hundreds, I think. Might have even been like in the first, like between 100 and 110, maybe. I'm guessing. That's my best guess. Headmaster Don and Hingyep Chan had some great info on those episodes.
So what about you, Lucas? Peter?
So I guess just offhand, I would say some of those Walmart reissues I've really enjoyed. Like I've kept all that stuff in box. So like the G1 Devastator is really cool. The Soundwave is really cool. I really love a lot of the G2 and like European box stuff just because it's so wild and in your face and whatnot as well. So
If I still had, I mean, I've still got a couple. I've got Deathsaurus's box, but it's really tattered and beat up. I wish I had a mintier box, and it has no insert. But any G1 box to me, that original '80s packaging with that flap, the amazing artwork, the grid pattern. That was part of the toy experience to me from Transformers throughout Generation 1, and it is so iconic. Even this reissue stuff that they're doing for the Titan Return Headmasters, I love the crap out of that stuff because it just invokes that feeling in me, even though it's not identical and the toys are different. It just invokes that feeling in me. Something special about that kind of box. Just, I love it. And if I had to say I had a favorite Transformer box, I'm just going to say in general a G1 box.
I'm probably a minority opinion in this take, but the original G1 boxes with the black and the red or purple grid stuff was fun. I liked it. But like the later runs where it was the gold packaging and like, I don't know what it was about that packaging at like the end of the 80s that I just freaking loved to death. It was like late 80s, early 90s kind of feel, but not the garish G2 neon stuff. It just, I don't know. I don't know why that packaging just resonates with me so much more.
Similar to that, but not exactly.
Yes, but like the gold that they did
like
for
the Pretenders
versus Micromasters.
Yeah, well, showing Metal Hawk here, he's got gold on the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they did the brand refresh in '89 and the packaging all changed, I remember like because I hadn't seen any Transformers for a minute, like I just hadn't seen any. They'd closed the old PX on base and they were opening a new PX, so it was just kind of everything was in flux. And when I walked in and I saw I saw Scowl, my first Pretender monster, and I was like, "What? The packaging is all different." And it didn't say like it did like this all slanty. Well, I guess it's this way, slanty. Italicized stuff, and yeah, it was neat. I have a box. It's not my favorite box, but it's a box I had sitting in front of me, so I'm gonna hold it up because I have the attention span of something that has a short attention span, and it's I don't know, some trash I found somewhere.
Oh,
I don't know, it's some nonsense. Who knows? And it has a flap too. Look, it's got a flap.
oh,
And you can like open it up, and there's like a bunch of flappy crappy in here.
Fat.
No, not
What
fat, flap.
No,
Is that
no.
What
I'm
is
saying
that?
fat.
This
I literally-
is
That's
Brave
a-
Mike Gain. This is Mike Gain, Great Mike
Perfect
Gain,
mode.
the big perfect mode
That thing
full
is
set.
giant whenever
Yeah.
it's combined.
It's pretty cool.
Is that
You got a whole
Sola
bunch-
Chogokin or is that Takara?
No, that's
It's Takara.
Brave.
Takara Brave Legends reissue or revival or something. It's a reissue of all of the DX Brave sets in one big set.
Oh my god, that sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
It's pretty
It
cool.
is.
So and
Like,
it's trains.
'cause-
I like
Yeah.
trains.
Yeah.
So
Like I know they did the like they did 2 Brave Masterpiece figures, and then they quit. Like the completely new
very
toys.
first Masterpiece figure was a Brave figure.
So I didn't know
So-
they did anything else. And are those vintage reissues then? Or are
they're
they new?
I mean they're older now, but
Well, yeah,
in the 2000s. It's newish. It's newish.
got it.
But going back to what echoing a few of the sentiments, I love the 89, 90 box stuff. Once they did the refresh, it was great. The grid style is still my personal favorite stuff, and the Japanese boxes. Your Victory Saber and your big powered gift set boxes, your Dino King gift set, your Lio Kaiser gift set. They just they've got the little windows and everyone looks happy, and you got that great Gestalt box art. Fantastic.
Someone in the comments said referred to Bayverse toys as their favorite box, and I get it. There's a faction for that, and I'm old with gray hair, and I'm not hip or cool to anything. But it's like Bayverse is your favorite box. It's like, get out of here with that garbage. Please don't.
I tell you what.
You're welcome.
I'll tell you what.
No, the boxes. As a collector, I like the artwork on them and everything, and they did look cool.
Yeah.
But the boxes I hated the most were like Armada, Energon with those they were the weird shapes.
They're tough to store.
Very tough. I mean, well, somewhat Earthrise and stuff like that. It got some weird shapes, but at least it's got flat edges. But whenever you got those boxes like the Armada and everything that had like one edge was curved, it was just very difficult to display and store.
You know, the guy saying the Big Daddy talking about the movie stuff. You know, earlier we were condemning Duran's mother for saying throw away your G1 stuff. And then we're all talking about how we just chuck, well, not all of us, obviously, but, you know, a lot of us chuck modern day stuff. And you'll kind of wonder if that time will come around, or is it going to be a case of like, you know, it's like, oh, in the 90s, I'll keep all your baseball cards and your comic books. They're going to be worth something. It's like, no. It's so mass produced. Yeah, power of the force, guys. We could be wrong on that stuff, but I get a feeling those modern day boxes are also so mass produced. It's not.
Look at movie one stuff, early live action, early Bayverse movie stuff. Some of that's worth some money now.
The toys are. I don't know how much the boxes play into that, but I guess they would, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of those leaders from the first line are, even though like they were greatly surpassed by other toys later, but they still go for a lot.
Yep.
Well, do we have anything else we have not covered?
Let's call it a day.
Let's box this up.
Let's put it on a shelf in the garage.
Book club this week is going to be RID 36 through 38. So check that out. That is on the TF Talk Discord, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central on Sunday night. And then we also have Microcasters Thursday night. I can't remember what we're doing this week. So I don't know. Stay tuned for that. We'll figure out what we're doing. And yeah, cut the tape. Could be whenever Rick sends me the video. So yeah.
Sometime between now and never.
And incidentally, TFYLP does have Twitter, Instagram. You know, so.
Oh yeah. Do you post these? I kind of forgot.
I still post to the Instagram somewhat often. I mean, whenever I take some pictures, once in a while, I'll upload some to that one too. The Twitter, I've turned that over to you. So if it's abandoned, you can blame it over on Lucas. You know.
Serg was supposed to start using that, and yeah, we'll see how that went.
I do post to the Twitter semi-regularly, at least talking about the new shows coming up and things like that. So
okay,
someone using the Twitter likes my posts, as infrequent as they are. Someone from TFYLP on Twitter likes my posts occasionally, so I know it's sort of alive. I'm guessing that's you. You're the corpse of the TFYLP Twitter.
That would be me. So yeah, I'm not as active as other shows and whatnot on Twitter, but.
Yeah, I actually used it somewhat a lot whenever I was doing the show myself. But I mean, it was I haven't been on it in a while.
I know a show that's really active on Twitter, and everyone should go talk to them.
Yes. So
anyway,
if you haven't blocked them already.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for joining me tonight. Lots of fun topics and whatnot. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thanks to Ron, Jay, Big Daddy Reviews, Omatic, Man Monster Mecha, Zaldron, Catherine, Rich ACM. Who else did I miss? Anyone else?
Everybody that watched.
So yeah,
or are listening to the audio.
Yep. Yeah. Thank
Joshua
you
Dial.
to all of our listeners and viewers. And yeah, so we will see you next week.
And that's what she said.
Bye.
Wash your hands.